What's up everyone, V here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Transformers Studio Series 86 Constructicon Scrapper from Transformers the movie. Dear God, sometimes I think some figures I review have a lot going on in the name, but this, he kind of has taken the cake. I feel like they've thrown a lot in there. But yes, this is Constructicon Scrapper as he appears in the G1 cartoon, but specifically the movie version. The Transformers, the Transformers, the movie. Always forget that they, in the tiniest text, the Transformers. But yeah, this is Scrapper as he appears in G1 Scrapper. Like, it's not like they changed the designs for the movie. But yeah, he is one of the Constructicons. If you don't know who they are, why are you watching this video? But also, they're a bunch of Transformers that Transformers that combine together to build and make a bigger Transformer. I've never owned a combiner before. So when they started to announce Studio Series 86 versions of the Constructicons, that piqued my interest because I'm not like too fond. I have no connection to G1, so 90% of the G1 designs and figures I don't care about. And like when Earthrise and stuff just like over detailing the hell out of G1 designs, just none of those figures ever like caught my eye and all that. But at least recently with the Studio Series 86, something about them just being like, let's make them insanely animation accurate, down to like the very little detailing, the very cartoony proportions, akin to how Optimus and Bumblebee are. I really liked that, and I was they were actually piquing my interest. So when this was announced, I was like, well, these will probably 100% be at least up to the best versions of these characters that you could get, and especially for a cheaper price. Not cheaper, but like easily, probably the best versions of these characters, at least right now, to get, especially for like the super like cartoon accurate look. And I was like, you know what? I might bite the bullet because I also got a Blockies figures of a couple of the Constructicons because I never really knew what they looked like either. And I was actually kind of messing with a couple of the designs, so I was like, you know what? I might do it. And then I forgot they were doing it. But then went to Target and saw Scrapper sitting there, and he is my favorite Constructicon design. And I was like, you know what? I'll just buy him because I really like how he looks. I bought him. And then I found Mixmaster later on. And then I was like, you know what? I might actually try to buy them. And then I found the 2-pack one. So now I'm only missing Bone Crusher and Scavenger. And then I'll have them. So expect reviews on all of them. And expect a whole separate vid on Devastator himself. But yeah, right now we're talking about Scrapper, my favorite Constructicon, purely based off of looks. 90% of my favorite Transformers, and honestly characters, a lot of the time are based off how cool they look, and he is, in my opinion, the coolest looking Constructicon. I really like his design. He's the one I got a Blockies figure of, and I was like, I really like this guy's design. So now I'm a Scrapper fan. So I definitely had to get him, and we're gonna, well, because he's the first one I bought, it's the first one I'm gonna make a vid on, but yeah. Anyway, before we get into Scrapper, take a look at the box. You got Transformers Studio Series. This is the new Studio Series one, so they're not numbered anymore. Also doesn't say 86, even though it is the 86 line. Transformers the movie, Constructicon Scrapper, and interesting artwork. A lot of the artworks are weird, because half the time they don't really look like the characters. And then Devastator. I wish they just used a shot from G1 of him. I don't like the weird glamorized artwork. He is a Voyager class, I don't know if I specified that or not. And then a couple shots of him, and then him in vehicle mode. Oh my god, I forgot to grab those two other guns. Oh, good thing I did that, or else I would have just straight up forgot that he came with 2 more guns than he already had. Yeah, not a whole lot going on with the box. So let's bring my boy back in here. He comes with a couple accessories. Again, the aforementioned guns. I straight up forgot. Transformers never come with too many accessories. But on him right now, he has just a tiny little gun. We'll hit the camera with it. Looks better at this angle. They always give the guns hollowness on the side that you'll see the most, I feel like. But it's gun. But if that gun is not good enough, you can give him big purple gun, which also looks cool. I don't know if this is used in Devastator or not, but big purple gun. And if big purple gun is not good enough for you, then you can have really big purple gun. And yeah, and then if you really want to overkill it, there's a hole there. Probably look at that. Double barrel, really big purple gun. Wow. That's wild. Also, I don't know. It's probably actually a different gun, but the Blockies does have a very similar gun to him, which is cool. So yeah, that's enough of big purple gun. But yeah, Scrapper, I know nothing about his character, but like I said, when a character just has a cool design, especially Transformers, because I feel like a lot of the time, 90% of Transformers characters have no depth to them whatsoever. At least for most media, a lot of the lesser popular characters are just there to look cool and do things, and then they're done. And I have, now, granted, the Constructicons probably might have in-depth characters in G1, I don't know. I've never watched it. I've only ever seen a couple episodes when I was younger. So who knows, maybe Scrapper has a really in-depth character. I wouldn't know. But his design is really cool. I really like the design. I'm just a sucker for like the designs that have like cool battle masks, like Soundwave and Optimus, and what's his name? Wheeljack. And he has a little cool battle mask, which I really like. I also like his head sculpt. I like the weird flat top. You can definitely tell that was inspiration from probably like a port on the figure that like covered something up. Looks really cool. The camera's oddly not picking him up too well. But yeah, looks really cool. And you got a really clean Decepticon logo on the front with a little bit just techie detail. Nothing crazy. And I really like the Constructicons color scheme. Has a lot of, granted this is not really a G1 thing, this is more just Bayverse and stuff, but I feel like a lot of Decepticons aren't as colorful, and these guys are really colorful. I really like the purple green combo, always works, looks really great, and of course it works for evil characters. And green's also my favorite color, so yeah, and it's a really bright green. Got the little, like, his little claw thing can move around on the back. I think that's how it should sit. And you got the wheels. You know, most, like, because he's a Transformer, most of this is more important in the vehicle mode. But I feel like he doesn't really have kibble, which is nice. I mean, yeah, he has this, but, like, at least bringing the Blockies, he has the giant claw thing on his back. I do like I don't know, he's a different shade of green. But yeah, for the most part, it doesn't really have any kibble, again, besides that, which is nice. Because he has a more, like, interesting alt mode, I feel like, as opposed to something that's like a car, you really have to get everything nice and smoothed out, which could hinder things in a vehicle mode. But I feel like with the Constructicons, since they're like construction vehicles got a more open space, not as like I don't really know how to describe it, but they're not as like tight knit, sleek. They're more like wild and stuff. So you don't actually have, it doesn't have to look perfect because those vehicle designs aren't as like take this for example, not as sleek of a car. They've got more, I don't, you get the idea I'm trying to say. It's not as like sleek car mode. Bug flying in my room, what the hell? So I feel like it doesn't lend to as much kibble. But yeah, really like this. And he feels pretty solid. A little loose here, but not too bad. And he is a Voyager. I keep forgetting that. Because Optimus is a leader, right? So of course he's going to be bigger. But I keep thinking this is Voyager. Let me bring in Megs. Okay, ooh. Oh, I know some of the Studio Series are a bit smaller, but oh. Because I was like, I keep messing with it. I'm just like, I keep forgetting he's a Voyager. It's because he is a really small Voyager. Ooh. But you know what? I still love him. Anyway, articulation-wise, ball joint at the head. Can look around. Bob. Arm moves out that far. Rotates. Make sure it doesn't get... Oh, he got a little bit butterfly. But sometimes the arm accidentally tabs in, because that's part of the transformation, so it might get in the way a bit. Bicep swivel. Single jointed elbow. Hand articulation. He has, sadly, no waist. I thought he did, but he doesn't, which I guess makes sense. I don't know. I thought they could have. But he can kick decently forward, decently back. Can do the splits phenomenally. Thigh rotation, single jointed knee, and ankle moves up, and a rocker. It's a pretty solid articulation. Stupid bug, bro. This bug is terrorizing me right now. But yeah, decent articulation for a Transformer. Again, it's no Marvel Legends. You're not going to be getting no crazy articulation. But remember, he does have to transform, which we're not doing yet because size comparison. He, as you saw, is a tad on the small side for a Voyager. But for a Marvel Legends and Black Series comparison, Star Wars Black Series, here he is next to a future review Punisher and another future review. Or yeah, I'm recording these two vids at the same night, so but I think I'm gonna upload him first. His Gale, I don't remember his name. So yeah, little short, and of course he will be short next to the McFarlane. Oh, forgot their name for a second. DC McFarlane Superman, and Jazzwares CE Master Chief from Halo. And for some more Transformers comparisons, here he is next to the little Balaki's version of himself, which made me have love for him. And again, here he is next to, sadly, not the Studio Series Megatron, because I just can't find him yet. Is he even out? I don't know, but I see people posting that they have him. So sadly, he is with the Siege Megatron. And yeah, he is smaller, which makes sense, but also Voyager. Ooh. And then that Optimus Prime that was mentioned before. And finally, because I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I am not transforming all these guys for the vehicle comparison. In fact, that Wheeljack you saw earlier is going to be the only vehicle comparison, because I really don't got the willpower to transform like 5 figures for a vehicle comparison when the vehicles are never to scale with each other. So you're only going to get the robot comparisons, but here he is next to Hook, Long Haul, and Mixmaster. All the Constructicons I have right now. They look really cool together. I cannot get over how goofy Long Haul looks. I can't wait to talk about him in a video. But yeah, they look really cool together, and I can't wait to get that horridly looking Bone Crusher and Scavenger, who I have no clue looks like, because he's the one that's been like the least thought of out of the ones I'm trying to buy. So yeah, that's comparison. Now it's time to transform and roll out. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this. He doesn't really have a complicated transformation. I'm just god awful at transforming. I never do it in. I always, after a while, I just get in chaotic steps that probably aren't easy to showcase. And I always like to mention, if you really want to learn how to transform it, don't watch my video. Go watch like MGO or something. He's infinitely better. Like, there's probably like 1,000 other better transformations, but I'm still gonna do it for the love of the game. You can't have a Transformers review without a transformation segment. Anyway, let's get into it. First, what you're gonna do, turn those fists in. Also, because I was putting the Devastator parts together to see what it looked like, I accidentally like peeled back the skin underneath my thumb. So if I just start wincing in pain from this, it's because I keep hurting that. Then you're gonna open this, tuck the head in, close that back up. Then you're gonna come down here. What the hell do you do here? Okay, wait. Yeah. Okay, this is where it's probably gonna get a little messy. Gonna untab this. This is probably not the way to do it, but it's the way I'm gonna do it. Tab these in. Alright. Then you're gonna bring this down. Rotate this? Yeah, rotate that. There we go. Gonna tab these together. This is really probably completely out of order. Okay? You with me? You're gonna bring this down. Looking good. Gonna bring these up. Oh wait, yeah. Probably one of the first steps you should have done. Rotate that. Like that. And then you're gonna... There's little tabs there. Tab into there. Should tab, and then that little tab goes into that hole. And then you bring it down, and that is Scrapper, definitely didn't forget his name, in vehicle mode. Not a complex transformation, which is nice. Dear God, some of them Bayverse figures make me want to kill myself. He looks cool, he looks nice, and this is what I mean. You see when you get this, like, it looks good, it looks like the vehicle, but, like, it's not as, like, sleek as the car. You can get, like, you don't have to have those, like, perfect shapes because this is a wonky looking construction vehicle. They look goofy as hell to begin with. So it doesn't have, it lends itself to not having as much kibble because, again, it's just, like, construction vehicle. But yeah, it looks really cool. As cool as random construction vehicle. I don't know what this is called. I'm not very well versed in the cars and vehicles, but you know, he has his little shovel which can articulate and then go up really far if you really want to get some crazy movement with that. I think you're supposed to rotate that back. I don't know. But yeah. Or do you? Oh wait, you tab it in, right? Tab it in there. Okay. Didn't know that before. So yeah, you got the little, like, area with it. And the wheels roll, and they're bug. And they're pinned in, which is nice. We love to see that. Rolls decently well. And for comparison, here he is next to Earthrise Wheeljack. This is specifically the reissued, repainted one for the one game that I forgot the name of. Fun fact, when I bought this, I thought it was a Studio Series. So when I found out it wasn't, I was a little shocked. Not me. Dude, this bug is going to drive me insane. I'm going to have to deal with it. But yeah. Anyway, I am going to transform him back while I give final thoughts. Oh wait, yeah, you can also, I think, tab the weapons on. Can, like, there's like a bunch of tab ports. Can do something like that. And I don't know how you tab. Oh wait, yeah, there's a tab here. Tabs into there. You can get the guns on, which is cool. Is there a way to store this? Is the real question. I am not too sure. Oh, there is, I think. There's a tab here. It looks like it should be able to tab into one of these, but the gun's in the way. Oh, zoinks. Theoretically, probably could tab it in. Don't know where this would go then. But yeah, you got vague weapon storage on vehicle mode, which is nice. Anyway, final thoughts while I try to transform him. And when I say final thoughts, I mean I'm probably going to ramble on nonsensically. Don't even know if that's a word I just said there. Because I have to try to focus while transforming him, but then try to talk at the same time, and then I'm going to just jumble my words. But yeah, really fun figure. I really like him. I think he's cool, he's fun. Does suck that you got to pay, like, dear God, what is the price for Voyagers now? Like 35? You thought I would know after I bought, like, these feet always aggravate me because they get really stuck in there. Jesus. Like, every video, the train, man. Anyway. Oh, my God. Okay, well, I'm just going to keep transforming him while the train goes. And just goes and goes and goes and never stops because it just can never stop. They can only run that train in the middle of the night. Every video, swear to God, every video. Anyway, here he is in robot mode again. Yeah, really fun figure. I really like him. He is probably, out of the ones I own, my favorite Constructicon. Not just as design-wise, but as figure-wise. He's nice, decently solid, not too crazy. Did I forget to rotate that? There we go. You're supposed to get, there we go. Yeah, really fun figure. I definitely like him. He's just a fun little guy, you know? Not too bad. It's one of those where it's just like, it's not gonna be my favorite Transformers figure, but like, I'm happy with him. I have, really the only complaint is decently loose. He's got a nice, fun, simple transformation. He looks really good in both modes. What more could you ask for? Solid. I just realized these are at different spots. Anyway, solid 7 out of 10. Enjoyable figure. Again, probably my favorite of the Constructicons I own so far, and probably will still be my favorite, which I'm glad that my favorite one and what I think is the best one is also my favorite Constructicon. So yeah, do I recommend old Scrapper? Honestly, yeah. At least because I like the design. And if you like his design too, I would recommend it. He's a pretty fun little figure. I am not going to showcase the transforming into the leg portion because I'm going to save that for the Devastator video. And then in that video, I will show you how to combine all of them into their combiner modes and then put them together. I feel like, especially for him, I've been having a hard time finding videos of him being put into his combiner mode part. I don't know why. Like, all the videos I've been watching, just nobody is putting him in the combiner mode. At least from what I saw. A lot. Like, for some reason, all the videos just weren't showing it. So, yeah. If I do it wrong, that's probably why. But yeah, I'm going to save that for the Devastator video. Anyway, hope they have a wonderful day. I feel like I ran this vid a bit longer than it should have been, but hey, it's a Transformers vid. They're going to be a bit longer because I got to transform them. But yeah, anyway, like, subscribe, check out my previous reviews. Yeah, expect a lot more Transformers because I've got like hella Constructicons, and definitely expect all of them, all the Constructicons to get vids, and Devastator as a separate vid because I've got most of them, and I am eager to get into them. And also, freshen up. I feel like it's been a minute since I've had a Transformers review on the channel. And hopefully I can find that Megatron. Anyway, hopefully you have a wonderful day. Definitely recommend this guy. Really cool, really fun figure. Anyway, peace.